Hey YouTube, Carrotswick here, bringing you all my Terra Firma Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post-Battles of Legend, Monstrous Revenge. We got some new support actually for the Terra Firma Elemental Hero in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Special Booster set. The deck focuses on a very Elemental Hero playstyle because it is an Elemental Hero deck using some of the monsters from Jaden's deck from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga. Terra Firma being one of his go-to boss monsters, being able to summon it with Elemental Hero Ocean and Elemental Hero Woodsman, and then having the new trap card for the additional special summon power that we have thanks to it, and Terra Firma having it and an additional card effect as well while we control Elemental Hero Terra Firma. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off for the main deck. For the main monsters needed for Terra Firma, we're running 2 copies of Elemental Hero Woodsman and 2 copies of Elemental Hero Ocean. You could even potentially go for one-ofs for these cards, but you really only need the one of each to summon out your Elemental Hero Terra Firma, and both can be easily searched, whether it be with cards like the Extra Hero Infernal Devicer, or even our Elemental Hero Stratos, Emergency Call, you name it. There's plenty of search power in the deck to add both of these cards to our hand. And then Woodsman just has a polymerization search from our deck or graveyard to our hand, so one of the fusion spells needed to go for many of our plays. And Elemental Hero Ocean, during your standby phase, you can select an Elemental Hero monster in your graveyard or on your side of the field and return it back to your hand. So both of them are needed to get out Terra Firma, and if you didn't know, the new card Protection of the Elements has Elemental Hero Woodsman on the art as well, just giving you a negate activation effect for our hero deck. Also, for the other 2-ofs for the deck, we run 2 copies of Elemental Hero Lady Heat and 2 copies of Elemental Hero Heat, both having either a burn effect like Lady Heat or Elemental Hero Heat gaining additional attack for each face-up Elemental Hero monster you control. So even Heat will gain attack off of his own card effect, so he'll always be 1800 attack on the field unless his effect's negated, and then being able to just inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each face-up Elemental Hero monster you control is a little bit of burn damage for that play, but you use them also to summon out the Elemental Hero Inferno, and having some fire attribute monsters gives us more fusion targets to get out cards like Elemental Hero Nova Master as well from the extra deck. For more of the searchable engine for the deck, we run 3 copies of Elemental Hero Stratos. You have the spell and trap destruction effect with Stratos, but the main play with it is just to be able to add a hero monster from your deck to your hand, so being able to add either of the hero monsters that you may need for your specific play with this card, and then the extra destruction effect is just an add bonus if need be, but it can be used whenever it's normal or special summon, so you have additional search thanks to Stratos wherever you summon it, and it not being a once per turn. Also, 3 copies of Elemental Hero Prisma, so you can just reveal the fusion monster in your extra deck and send the needed monster from your deck to the graveyard to have your Prisma take on the card name of that card, also setting up another hero monster in your graveyard. So if you were to use cards like Miracle Fusion, you could have the additional banished play right then and there using monsters from your field or graveyard. And also 2 copies of Elemental Hero Blazeman for an additional attribute change by sending a hero monster or a polymerization search. You can only use one of the effects of Blazeman per turn. We're only run 2 copies though. We have the polymerization search taken care of thanks to this card, and other ways to search out this card, whether it be through cards like Emergency Call, Elemental Hero Stratos, and then being able to utilize that as our main go-to fusion along with Miracle Fusion in the deck. We're also running 2 copies of Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier for more draw power, whether this card is used for a fusion summon and is banished or sent to the graveyard, and then that draw power definitely can set up more cards in our graveyard as well, and then having more of the generic water attributes just like Jaden used in the manga to summon out thanks to Liquid Soldier. With the last of the hero monsters being 2 copies of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. Now, if you wanted to decrease any of the manga heroes that Jaden used in numbers, you can increase the number of your Solid Soldiers and your Blazeman, and decrease the numbers of these ones. Like I said, they're one-ofs that you can easily search out in the deck, so if you wanted more of an engine like your Solid Soldier to then be able to summon out another hero and then go for your Link to play that much more easily, because then cards like Infernal Devicer can also be used to reveal a hero fusion monster in your extra deck and add up to 2 of the fusion materials, so that could just be the search right then and there for Woodsman and Ocean. For the spells, we're running 3 copies of Polymerization, just one of the easier fusion plays to make use of in the deck, being addable to your hand by Elemental Hero Blazeman, and then just being able to also recycle it off of cards like Woodsman. It doesn't happen often, but you do have this card for a potential recycle of Polymerization while Woodsman is face up on the field. Also 3 copies of Emergency Call, just to search out any of the hero monsters that you may need for your particular play. It's not a once per turn either, so if you have multiple Emergency Calls, you can just add the needed hero monster for this card also. And also the 2 copies of Miracle Fusion. Only running 2 copies of this card because it can be searched out with Elemental Hero Sunrise, which just needs 2 hero monsters with different attributes to make it. And also 2 copies of EN Shuffle. More special summon options for our heroes. If you have a hero monster on the field, you can use EN Shuffle to then get a different hero monster by shuffling 1 elemental hero monster you control into the deck and special summoning 1 back onto the field with a different name from that card. So depending on what you may need from that card in your deck, you have this special summon power to thank for that. And also 3 copies of A Hero Lives. More easy special summoning. We don't really use life points for anything in the deck, so A Hero Lives, just being able to special summon out your hero of choice means you can grab Stratos, gain its search, and then whatever monster you added off of Stratos can just be normal summon since you didn't have to waste your normal summon off of the Stratos. And then for the 1-ofs, for the spells, 1 copy of Call by the Grave, 1 Reinforcements of the Army, and 1 Monster Reborn, all being very useful depending on the situation where you open them up, whether it be for search, special summon, or just stopping your opponent. And then as for the new trap, we're running 3 copies of Protection of the Elements. When a spell or trap is activated, banish 1 face-up elemental hero monster you control until the end phase. Negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. If you control elemental hero Terra Firma, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 of your elemental hero monsters that is banished or in your graveyard or hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can only use this effect of Protection of the Elements once per turn. So being a trap card, you can use Protection of the Elements even on your opponent's turn while you control your elemental hero Terra Firma. Giving you that special summon of 1 of your hero monsters that is even banished means that you can work very, very well with cards like Miracle Fusion, since you'll have that resource as one of your banished cards thanks to this card, and when you have your Terra Firma on the field. With the last of the traps being 1 copy of Terra Firma Gravity. Now, I know most of the time your opponent's going to use most of their monsters as a resource just to go into a elemental hero monster, and then, or not elemental hero monster, but link monster or any extra deck monster, but it's just more a fun card addition to have in the deck. When you control Terra Firma, this trap is definitely a lot better for the Terra Firma play, but just during your opponent's battle phase, making your opponent's monsters attack into your Terra Firma if they have any of those needed monsters, and then having it so they'll take some pretty big damage by even being able to, when this card has the attack gain of this card or its original attack, some heavy damage from your opponent's monsters. But if you didn't want to run Terra Firma Gravity, you can always replace it by increasing any of the other hero numbers if you didn't want to decrease any of the ones we spoke of before. For the extra deck monsters, we are running the 1 copy of Terra Firma. Now, if you wanted an additional copy, you could just drop some of the other elemental heroes that we're running in the deck. But Terra Firma, it cannot be special summoned except by fusion summon. You can tribute 1 face-up elemental hero monster to have this card gain attack equal to the tributed monster's attack till the end phase. So depending on that elemental hero monster's attack, you can have some pretty big numbers with Terra Firma to swing into your opponent with that other monster that you tributed. The 1 copy of Elemental Hero Inferno, a little more specific of a card. It cannot be special summon except by fusion summon. If it battles a water monster, it gains 1,000 attack during damage steps. So just another fun option in the deck for the attack boost when going up against a water monster and just needing the needed fusion materials being Heat and Lady Heat to summon this card out. For more of the attribute hero monsters, 1 Gaia, 1 Great Tornado, 1 Absolute Zero, the 1 Nova Master, the 1 Shining, and the 1 Escuridao. Now, I know we don't have any dark attribute cards in the main deck for the Escuridao, but you still have some options to summon this card out, which we'll get to in just a second. But for some of the bigger hero boss monsters, 1 Sunrise and 1 Wake Up Your Elemental Hero Monster, just needing 1 or more warrior monsters, and then 1 Elemental Hero Fusion Monster to summon out Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, giving you another warrior special summon thanks to this card, and gaining multiple attacks during the turn. And Elemental Hero Sunrise having its destruction effect, and also just being able to, when special summon, add a Miracle Fusion, helps with one of the Terra Firma plays that we can also use just to get this body on the field beforehand, which I'll go over at the end of the video. But for those dark hero targets to use for our Scourgeow. We have Adoration and Trinity in the deck as well. They're a dark attribute and just need generic heroes to summon out. And you can use Polymerization to get out some of the bigger monsters like Trinity or the attack lowering Adoration, which then after they've, used their purpose, if you need a Scourgeow, being able to summon those cards out also. But if you also wanted to add a second copy of Terra Firma, you could always just take out the copy of the Scourgeow for the second copy of that card. With our Link monsters being the extra hero, Infernal Devicer, I'd say one of the better ones just because it has the search power for our Terra Firma and also the 1 Wonder Driver for the Polymerization search, and then the 1 Dread Decimator for the piercing and attack boost power for these Link monsters also. As for the go-to plays in the deck, as I said before, your fusion play, if you happen to open up the needed materials for your Woodsman and Ocean, whether you add to your hand with Reinforcements of the Army or your go-to play for Emergency Call, you can activate Polymerization going for the fusion summon, but before you even go for the fusion play of your Terra Firma, you can go for the fusion play since you have the requirements for Elemental Hero Sunrise being 2 hero monsters with different attributes. Then you can use the effect of Elemental Hero Sunrise to add the Miracle Fusion from your deck to your hand, activating Miracle Fusion, banishing the Woodsman and the Ocean to then summon out the Elemental Hero Terra Firma. So you have the additional monster on the field on top of the monster you can summon out, and then also when an attack is declared involving a hero monster, you can target card on the field, destroy it. So when Terra Firma attacks, you have the destruction play on top of the additional monster you have on the field also. And then if you go for your Protection of the Elements, you have 3 of this card, so to better your odds of opening up this card, and you set this card, you have a spell or trap negation against your opponent, and then stopping that play as well if you have your Terra Firma out on the field. Before your opponent were to try even destroy this, or you could even wait till the end of the turn, you can banish the Protector of the Elements to special summon back the Elemental Hero Woodsman onto the field, and then if this is done during the end phase, on the standby phase, you can add 1 Polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand, recycling back that Polymerization from your graveyard or adding a new one to your hand thanks to this card. And then all you need to do is draw into another hero monster, depending on what it may be. If it's Stratos, even the better, because that's another hero search. And then you can use the Polymerization off of the Woodsman you just special summon thanks to the Protection of the Elements for you to use. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. This new trap definitely did add some fun power to go for more of a Terra Firma focused deck for the Elemental Heroes, and I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.